Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Vegan Vittoria. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lisa. Over the years, I've been asked so many of the same questions from friends, family, new acquaintances. So what I'm going to do in this video is answer these questions for you. Like, why did I become vegan? And what were some of the challenges that I faced? And what are some of the benefits I've received? So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy. Before I became vegan, I ate pretty healthy. I always loved eating foods that I thought were good for me, and I had a lot of vegetables and fruit in my diet. I was raised that way from my family, fortunately. So I still ate quite a bit of meat and fish. It's not particularly something I really craved for. It was just culturally in my upbringing, especially coming from Italian background and Filipino. It was so much about the meat. I had to just eat what was on my plate. That's how I was raised. I was going through this whole journey of transition in my life. I really just wanted to clean up my diet. I got to the point where around turning 30, my metabolism was slowing down. I was still working out a lot, eating healthy, and I thought, how is it that I'm gaining weight? I was diagnosed with high cholesterol. I was really shocked. And so I just started educating myself. I started researching, watching documentaries, and reading books. Actually, 2011 was really when I started this journey. And there weren't all these mainstream documentaries that there are today. So it was even a friend of mine who gave me this book. And sorry for the title, but it was called The Skinny Bitch. And she said that talks a lot about veganism. And I didn't know anything about veganism. I didn't know anyone that was vegan, hardly any vegetarians in my circles. And I thought, okay, I'll give it a try. And so when I read it, I learned about the animal agriculture and the treatment of these slaughterhouses. And it was just shocking, of course. I couldn't believe the testimonies of what real employees shared about what their experience was like in these facilities. And it just appalled me. Even they said that inspectors would come and they would put all the good meat out. Then when the inspectors would leave, they would still put the bad meat out there. So I was so surprised, and I thought, this is terrible. I also wasn't present to the fact that so much of the pollution is caused by the animal agriculture as well. So for me, it was just so much of a lack of awareness. And when I also read in that book about how naturally the cow produces milk, the mother, for its young, and they're just kept there in these cages, and then they're continuously needing to get pregnant to produce more of the milk. And so for us as human beings, it makes so much sense. We, as women, produce milk until a certain time for the baby, and then we're done producing the milk, and we carry on. It's just so natural. Just like any other animal out there in nature, they're not taking milk from other animals. So for me, it just all clicked, and that was it. And I started watching different videos online and just being my own advocate. And so I made the switch. I took out dairy, and so little by little, I transitioned. Mostly I took out the meat, number one, and then gradually was getting off of dairy as well. And I was feeling just so much happier. I had so much more energy. And I just felt this experience of having like a purified system. I mean, it was wild, and I just loved the feeling. And I was always into working out too, so it fit perfectly in alignment with my lifestyle, being active. I just felt so much better overall. And I thought, this is it. This is so easy for me to make the switch. So really, since 2011, and then officially since 2013, that I love it. I really do. I'm so much happier in life since I made the switch. And it wasn't hard, actually. The most challenging part about it was the commentary from other people, my family, my friends. And I understand. it's something that seems so radical for them. So that was the most difficult part. I made healthy choices, meaning I just cut out the meat and dairy. It wasn't really that difficult for me to find options. I actually feel like I have more options because I'm so much more in tune with all the different varieties of fruits and vegetables and beans and grains and nuts and seeds. I have so much more fun with food. So it was such a wonderful experience. And then I gave myself time to make the transition. It didn't have to be just overnight. I allowed myself a gradual change, just like anything else in life when we're making some big adjustment and wanting to switch that behavioral pattern. So small steps actually turn out to be big steps. Being vegan has brought so much purpose into my life. It resonates with me mentally, emotionally, physically, even spiritually. I just love it. And I just can't imagine my life without it now. I've enjoyed my life so much more. I have so much more pleasure when I do eat my food. Much more appreciation of also where it came from. And the fact that it's not aiding in a life of causing harm. I'm very much committed to a cruelty-free lifestyle. I've always valued nonviolence, and this type of way of eating, it works so well for me. So I think it's important to find what you're committed to, what your values are. And so I'll tell you something. When I first started dating my boyfriend, he wasn't vegan. And I did have that concern of how is it going to work out between us? Where we're going to go and eat together? Is it going to be awkward? And I know a lot of vegans or non-vegans, they have this question and they're wondering, how does a couple work it out, or a family? And he said something really wise to me when he asked me out on our first date. He said, "That's okay. Let's explore that together." And how could I say no to that? It was amazing. He accepted me as I am. I accepted him as he was. And it's amazing because he was known as a hunter and a fisherman. And I was totally the opposite. And he was so inspired by my way of being. And also, he loved the international foods that I would make at work and bring home, or cook together at home and show him these different dishes. So it was actually really easy for us to get along. And he was so inspired. He even said he wants to clean up his diet, clean up his life. So it just really worked very well for us together. And I was thrilled that I got to inspire someone, because there's a big difference from trying to force an outcome and pressure someone, because none of us want to be forced to do anything, but we can be inspired and also just encouraged to make small changes and really feel authentically motivated. The main one is actually just dealing with other people and constantly having that calmness and that compassion that people will ask funny questions. And so that's the most funny part of it, because I can find food everywhere. It's not a problem. I think also too, because I've always loved cooking. I learned when I was a kid from my family. So I was always into food. And then also too, over time, restaurants and hotels even, they're picking up on this new plant-based revolution that we're experiencing. And so when I go to the meditation center too, it was so easily implemented into my life to make the switch to just pick out vegan or vegetarian options. So the most challenging part about it was really just other people having certain stereotypes or misconceptions about what a plant-based diet is, what the lifestyle is about. And so I just educated them. And I did it in a way where they're not feeling made wrong about it or awkward. I really took on this way of being that maintain what I'm committed to, which is being peaceful and being compassionate, and also being very inclusive. So if someone in my family or my friends is eating something non-vegan in front of me, I want them to feel comfortable with who they are, as they should, while also being inspired by what I have to share about my knowledge of the cooking and also my own real life experience being on farms and what's actually going on, and just being inspired by my way of being. Some additional, what you might call challenges, would be, say, getting together with friends. It's such a social, fun thing to do, right? And so it may seem daunting, like how do you go to a barbecue or go to a dinner party, go out to a restaurant? So what I like to do actually is I love cooking a wonderful vegan meal and sharing that with my friends and family, and having them come over. I love to entertain. So not only is it a great way to get people together, I get to experiment, try all different dishes, which I've done over the years, and then also introduce them to all these different types of amazing foods that they never would have even thought are vegan. So it helps them to stomp out that stereotype they might have in their head, and they can see how colorful and beautiful and tasty and international and just pleasant it is to eat plant-based. So that's what I do often with my friends or family. And if I go to a restaurant, what I do lately is I ask for vegan options. So that way I'm creating that demand. And I'll tell you, since 2011, when I started this journey, it wasn't like how it is today, where there are vegan restaurants on so many different corners all around. You can order it and it'll come to your door. It's so easy to get access and awareness and recipes. So for me starting out, it was quite radical at that time. But what I did was I just experimented, and I loved the challenge of taking like a comfort food or a certain international cuisine and then veganizing it. And one of my greatest joys in life is they say, wait, this is vegan? I can't believe it. So I love that. I get so much satisfaction out of that because they enjoy the food so much. And I'm just being myself with it. Some are, and that's wonderful. We have great conversations together, but there are most that are not. And I tell them, that's okay. They're also very much inspired to incorporate more of these plant-based foods and recipes into their regimen, and they love it. And I think that's really great because for all of us, it's always the experience. And it's really based on your own individual experience for yourself. See how you feel. When you change your diet, even in one day, you may notice a difference, you may not, but it's up to you because we're each on our own journey. So I know for me, when I used to eat meat, I would feel much more heavy and just lethargic. So I don't think that my body was digesting it in such a way that worked for me anymore. I made the switch and I was able to clear up that high cholesterol, and all of my vitals are perfect now. And if I go to the doctor, they'll say, Lisa, I can't find anything wrong with you. So it's remarkable. And so much of it was in my head too, where I really just felt like I'm eating well and I'm going to be well. I'm not going to be feeling depressed. And I felt great. I felt uplifted. I just had this sense of really just feeling so clean, my whole system, and that's why I love it. There are a lot of people who can still eat unhealthy and call it vegan, and that doesn't work. So being plant-based or not, if I'm drinking a lot of alcohol or smoking, working too much, not getting enough rest, it's all still based on our lifestyle choices. And so there's not one size fits all answer for you. You see what works for you and then really stick to that and see how your body reacts to it. We all have a different system. So I think it's great to see what you like and allow others to be, because we're all on our own path. And so who am I to judge others for their actions? I know I certainly don't want to feel condoned for my lifestyle choices. So it's not an effective way to be in life, to have others feel shamed for the choices that they make. Thank you all for watching this video. For just the price of a cup of coffee per month, you can support me on Patreon by producing more of this quality content and encouraging more people to implement plant-based into their diet. So just look for Vegan Vittoria on Patreon. I put the link in the description below. Also, look for Vegan Vittoria on Facebook, IGTV, Twitter, TikTok, you name it, I'm out there. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you in the next video.